Welcome to DT Madness, Chronicles from the Third Life, YouTube version, Episode 1, April 10th, 2026. So glad you could make it. As the doctor put in his notes from my recent visit, I'm a very pleasant 48-year-old man. What I refer to as my first life travels from birth up until a few years into college when I met my wife, Sarah. The second life consists of the next decade or so. Marriage and kids, and seeing a lot of widespread panic, and still wrestling with addictions and insecurities. The third life has been underway for about 5 years or so. I made some pretty significant life changes when I was about 43, not the least of which was getting a tattoo on my shoulder. But more importantly, I began to seek counseling and therapy to deal with my underlying issues. And I began a quest to find my whole self, to become one, I suppose. So there it is, Chronicles from the Third Life. The DT Madness speaks for itself, as I'm sure you will quickly find. If I can persist in broadcasting on this channel, many stories and anecdotes will begin to fill in the different lives and experiences since 1978. As for a quick bio, I'm a veteran high school teacher, social studies, government, psychology, married 25 years this June, 3 mostly adult kids. I love live music, and in particular, I venture out to see the band Phish whenever possible. Looking forward to Savannah and Raleigh, among other possibilities this summer. And I'm the former mayor of the small town that I live in of about 4,000. For a brief moment this past week, I thought maybe the fourth life was imminent. I drove down a street that holds a bit of darkness for me, and things seemed lighter. But the fourth life was a little more distant than I perceived. I'm getting ahead of myself, though. I have fears. My nervous system is what they call hypervigilant, like when that butterfly dove bombed me at the river just a bit ago. We'll come back to Madam Butterfly. Of the fears I harbor, none have loomed larger than the fear of going to the doctor, medical anxiety. I had some health issues about 5 years ago that spawned the life changes from second life to third. But it had been since then, since I'd had a physical, and I'm 48. I knew it was getting time. Any kind of checkup. I did manage the eye doctor, but I digress, as I will. I fought and fought for years to try and get over the hump of my anxiety and my obsessions and compulsions. Mine are primarily mental or internal. Weary, I sought out medicinal help, and for the past month or so, I've been on escitalopram. Is that how you say it? Lexapro. I was skeptical, I have to admit, but it's been a game changer for me. The psychiatrist that I worked through with Brightside online, who oversees my medication, she challenged me to set a goal to get that medical physical, the doctor visit this summer before school starts next August. But I faced down my fears with the help of some key people in my life and made the appointment for this past week. I did it. I know that might seem petty or trivial to you, but for me, this was a big mountain to climb. I kept up with my blood pressure the whole week before, sitting right here in my nook, because typically when I go to the doctor, my blood pressure is like 1,000 over 500. White coat syndrome, I think they call it. So I had my notebook paper that I would scribble on as I would sit here and try to breathe deep and take my blood pressure, and kept the readings for the week, and they were all good, and I was ready to display it. I wore my tan, or is it beige? Are those different? Anyway, I got this Columbia fleece jacket with a patch from a Phish song that says, "Everything's right, just hold tight." So I wore it to the doctor's office, and I had my notebook paper, my blood pressure readings, my keys, wallet with insurance card, my medicines that they told me to bring along, all in the zip up pocket on the right side. And this is kind of where things happened. I got out of the 2012 Dodge Ram, which was my dad's truck, and proceeded to walk in the office, and I couldn't get my zipper pocket open. It was stuck. It's still stuck. I tried all the angles. I took it off. I put one foot up on the step into the truck to try to gain leverage. Nothing. No movement at all. And I had nothing in the truck to do anything about it. So the only thing to do was to walk up to the check-in. And after confirming all the details, I had to ask for some scissors. Probably not a request the ladies had gotten very often. But they had some handy, so I cut a slit on the inside of the pocket and was able to retrieve the necessary paperwork and ID. And the absurdity of it all hit me. I could only just chuckle. Here I am, a 48-year-old man facing his fears and worried about all the uncertainties I can't control. The same uncertainties clouds of witnesses across generations and cultures have said can't be controlled. Meanwhile, there are 4 humans circling the moon and an egomaniacal president threatened to destroy a civilization, and my Mutiny After Midnight CD was still 2 days away. The absurdity of it all hit me, and I carried on with my appointment without much worry. Much. To shorten the story, my blood pressure was just about perfect, and I didn't even need my notebook paper. The doc told me what to do about a few minor things, but overall, I'm in pretty good shape. And yes, he did say I was very pleasant. I did struggle the day after, awaiting the results of the blood panels. That anticipation is what gets me. I'm really good at concocting the worst case scenario. And though I was able to drive down the forbidden street shortly after, the haptics and the buzzes of my watch and the notifications on my email caused the cortisol or whatever stress hormones or whatever that is to flood my body. I was still worried about impending disaster, about uncertainty, about things I cannot hope to control. And so we plod on in the third life. And I'm seeking to reframe my desire for affirmation and assurances from others. And I'm trying to learn to rest in the assurance of the one, of goodness itself. Yeah, third life. So that's what I intend to talk about here. Mental health. And since I am one, primarily about men's mental health. Of course, there are other things I ponder. There was a time during Second Life when I was a teaching pastor at a small community church. But my timing was off. I can't hope to help with the healing of others, the wholeness of others, if I don't have a grasp of those things myself. And at that point, I didn't. And my ego was too loud, probably in defense of my own internal struggles. But whatever the reason, my ego had not yet found the proper humility. All that to say, I'm a man with strong spiritual drive. I'm chasing great faith. Help me in my unbelief, as the man says to Jesus. I read widely and am certainly not attached to dogma, but I believe in the Christ and the goodness of the one. So that'll be prominent, likely, as we proceed. And I seek beauty in art and nature and people. And as our friend Sheldon Cooper says, what's life without a little whimsy? So there'll be plenty of stories about my own ridiculousness, like the other day when I asked my son if the moon could fit in the Pacific Ocean. He just kind of rolled his eyes at me because he thinks he knows things. Turns out it would fit width-wise, but not anywhere close to depth-wise. And about that butterfly, the crazy thing is I was walking along the trail, I heard a jet overhead. You know, you can hear the sound of the jet. And as I looked up, the butterfly was coming right at me. And for like a split second, I thought the butterfly was making the jet sound. And yeah, hypervigilant. So I don't take myself too seriously, and I hope that along the way you can laugh along with me at myself. Ultimately, though, wrestling through all of these things, I hope this is about becoming me, becoming one with myself, one with you, one with the Creator and creation. So thanks for listening, and I'll work on maybe getting a microphone and a better setup. Right now, it's just the iPhone 17. With the rear-facing camera. So we'll see how it goes. I look forward to your comments. Until next time, remember that it's just this, and that this is everything. Grace and peace, my friends.